Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 17, Episode 17, The Reunion Part 1. Okay, as I said before, this reunion is only in 2 parts, probably for the best, so let's just get right into it. My first thought right away is, this is my favorite reunion set. It's like this curved, like 180-degree backdrop that they're projecting a scene of the ocean and the beach behind them that really makes it look like they are sitting outside at the beach. And it's so cool. I love it. I mean, they really could do this for every franchise, right? They could make it seem like they're on a ski slope and it would be fairly easy, I would think, because you wouldn't have to really do anything to the set at all. It's all this projection of this thing behind them. I guess you'd be putting set designers out of business. That's not good. I didn't really think it all through. AI is here, you guys. It's kind of scary. Okay, so Andy says his hellos. I talked about this last week, but from left to right, we have Emily, Shannon, Tamra. Then Andy to his left, Heather, Gina, and Jen. So we say hello to Emily first. Emily lost 40 pounds. No word on whether it's Ozempic related. Nobody said a word. Emily works her ass off. If you follow her on Instagram, my God, I've never seen anybody working out more than this woman. And she has been for a long time, which is why it feels weird to me that now she's so much thinner. Could she have changed something in her diet or added some kind of working out? Yes, it's possible. Of course it is. I'm just saying the 40-pound weight loss seems sudden to me. I don't know. Nobody mentioned it. I'm not going to say she's on it. Whatever. I love Emily, and I think she's, being healthy. Next is Shannon. Shannon is asked how many pounds of hair she's wearing. She goes, a lot, but not as much as Teresa's wedding hair. And then, I don't know, Gina's a realtor. She's got 2 houses in escrow. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we start the show with Tamra's package and all the bad behavior that she came to this season with. And somehow that ends with the ladies sympathizing with her. How? How is she doing this? Heather feels sad, and Tamra's like, well, I feel sad too. I never came into this group to turn everybody against you, Heather. but you tried. Heather, literally, there wasn't one episode where you didn't say something unkind about me. Not one. Tamra, well, I came into this season not knowing where I stood with you. Because on your podcast, it was either you or your co-host that said, there's no place for Tamra on this show anymore. And Heather goes, it wasn't me that said that. And you said that I called Andy to tell him about that. Let me just say, I don't have that much power. And if I get 5 minutes with Andy, it's not to talk about you. And Andy goes, I will say that she never brought that up to me. And Tamra goes, well, okay, it just hurt my feelings. Heather, I understand. And I'm sorry about that. See what I mean? Not a kind word all season. Yet Heather somehow ends up apologizing to Tamra. It's bizarre to me. Next, we get Jen's montage with all the Tamra stuff regarding TW. And Andy said, we invited Ryan here to tell his side of the story, and he declined. Why, Jen? He has a history with Tamra and Eddie. And if he sits here and Tamra goes off on him and he goes back at her, he looks like an asshole for talking to a woman like that. So he said, it's a no-win for me. Tamra and Shannon are kind of like nodding like they understand. No, I'm tired of that being some sort of a excuse for men. How about, and just hear me out, how about he come to the show, face up to all the accusations against him, behave like an adult, and when Tamra goes off on him, he responds in a calm manner and addresses everything that she got wrong with all the facts and not allow himself to be agitated by lies if he's claiming they're lies. How about that? How about you act like a damn adult? And then you won't be accused of going off on a woman. But he can't. See, that's what I think, because they aren't lies. And we know they're not lies because the stuff that's been admitted to that Jen knows about is terrible stuff. And there's no way to defend it. If he texted a woman that he wanted her to be naked in his bed while at a concert with Jen, then the "we were on a break" argument collapses. There's really no other way around that. Jen's like, look, I know the timeline doesn't make sense to all of you. And I know you think I was having sex in cars. I was not. Emily's like, I never thought you had sex in a car. Andy goes, who here thinks it was just a physical affair and not an emotional affair? Nobody raises their hand, but Tamra's like, So Andy says to her, why do you think it was only a physical affair, Tamra? Well, when we went to Cabo, Eddie and I, with Ryan, he sat us down and told me he was having an affair with Jen. And me and Eddie were like, because we know Will. We felt dirty. And Gina's like, are you Will's friend or are you Jen's friend? And Jen goes, and why the takedown? When did it shift for you? Tamra, when I found out he was cheating on you. And Gina goes, did he or were you guys on a break? And Jen goes, we were literally on a break. And Shannon goes, when we were at dinner, he said it was like a 2-week break. I think he actually said longer, like 4 or 5 weeks. But Jen said, yes, it was. And Emily goes, doesn't it worry you that he slept with someone that quickly? And Jen goes, well, I didn't love it. Oh, ask about the concert in San Diego. Why is nobody mentioning that? Because that proves it wasn't just when they were on a break. Jen said she knew about it, so she's not even denying it. It must be true, and it obviously wasn't while they were on a break, so why is nobody mentioning that part? Do I need to be there at this reunion? So frustrating. So Heather goes, why is she being attacked for this? Which is true. Tamra goes, because I feel like she's defending him and it's frustrating. I want better for you, Jen. And Jen goes, it's none of your business. And for you to bring me on the show as your friend, Tamra, I did not bring you on. We were barely speaking when you got cast. Okay, that's news to me. So I am curious why Jen would have said that, because I mean, that's what I thought too. I thought Tamra brought her on as her friend, and apparently Jen thought that. So how did Jen get on the show? Like, I would think Jen would know. That doesn't get addressed, unfortunately. Jen just says, so what is it? Are we close? Are we not close? I was your friend, and you're a piece of shit of a friend. Tamra, fuck off. You're the piece of shit, you cheater. Where's the shaman? Stat. Shaman, hello? Is he on standby? Yeah, I mean, thank God we're keeping this classy, ladies. Jen goes, you're a fucking cheater too, so welcome to your own club, Tamra. And Tamra goes, I've been with my husband for 13 years. Where am I cheating, bitch? And Jen said, when you met Eddie, you were still with Simon. And Tamra, I left my husband. Look, I don't even care that you cheated. And Jen goes, then don't call me a cheater. Tamra, then stop calling me names. Jen, I called you a friend and you are. Oh, God. Tamra, well, you're a person. But thank God Tamra brings up the concert in San Diego. She gave Andy the receipts. She hands him a bunch of papers. I am assuming it's the text thread between the woman he was cheating on Jen with, you know, their texts back and forth. Tamra says it's from August of 2021. So you guys were only together for a year, she says to Jen. Andy's reading them. And then he says, it says if I wasn't driving home from San Diego, I'd make you meet me at my house naked. And Gina goes, wait, he said that? Andy, yes. Gina, and you were with him? Like, Gina can't understand it. Jen, he only slept with her that one time. Sorry, Jen, who cares? The texts alone are cheating. No? If my husband texted some woman that he has never met in his life, that kind of a thing, I would consider it cheating. Tamra says, at one point, this woman asked him, are you in a committed relationship? And Ryan said no. I guess that's part of the text chain, too. When they were in the Bahamas together, Jen and Ryan, this woman sent Ryan a risque photo of herself. Jen, I saw it. I know about it because this is what kills me. In Jen's mind, knowing about it is that now it's fine. It's fine because I know about it. You're not telling me anything I don't know. It doesn't make it okay just because you know, Jen. Anyway, she saw it and Ryan said, I have no idea why this woman is reaching out to me, but I'm going to call her and tell her to stop. And Jen said, I don't want to know anything more about it. I just don't want this in my life anymore. I want this done. Andy asks Shannon, how do you feel about your bestie Tamra's interactions with Jen all season? About getting into her relationship. And Shannon said, at one point when we were in Mexico, I said, stop, this is too much. I remember that because I remember thinking, God, even your friend is telling you to stop, Tamra. So then Tamra turns to Shannon and says, but this was after you were at the pool party saying, can we dig up more? Wow. Emily, I know, Shannon. I wasn't saying dig up more. And Emily goes, you did, Shannon. I was standing right there. You keep acting like you're the hero here. You were like, this is so juicy. We got to keep talking about this more. We got to get it on camera. Shannon, I didn't say that. Emily, yes, you did. Did she say it? Now she's looking across the room to Gina. And Gina goes, 100%. Sorry, Shannon. I think you're caught. I do love the behind the scenes, though. Rehashing conversations that women were saying, like, we need to put this on camera and like that kind of stuff. I do kind of love that. So now Emily says, can I ask about the dick pic story? Because you gave us two different, and Jen said, 100%. Why does she have it? Pointing to Tamra. So, apparently, Tamra has the dick pic in her possession. Tamra said, because I was with Heather Amin when she got it. Yeah. And those are like first edition pics. They're worth more now. Those are from before it became a thriving business. And Jen goes, and you screen grabbed it. And Tamra goes, yes, Jen. I'm saying that's fucked up. If her husband accidentally sent me that, she's the first call I make, and it's off my phone. That doesn't bother Tamra in the least. She goes, yeah, at the restaurant, we were like, holy shit, it's a limp dick saying, my limp dick misses you. And Jen goes, me and my limp dick miss you. We were going on a date that night. Ryan was getting in the shower. Tamra, wait, I thought you were on a plane. Yeah, that was the story she told. They were sitting next to each other on a plane. And because she goes, I was with him at the time. We were on a plane going somewhere. And Tamra said at the time, why would he send you a pic while you're sitting next to him on a plane? Like, that never did make sense. But Tamra's right. She did say they were on a plane. I think it was at Nobu. She said that. So Emily said, yeah, that's what I want to ask. It's a completely different story than the one you told on Instagram. Oh, God. She told the story on Instagram? Why am I not following her? Anyway, Tamra, again, you said you were on a plane. Jen goes, I was on a plane. Emily, but on Instagram, you said you were at home in bed not feeling well. And he sent it to you to be funny. Well, she doesn't clear it up. She says, I was talking about why he sent the picture to me. Okay, but were you sick in bed? Were you getting ready for a date? Or were you on a plane? Now there's 3 versions. Not that that matters. I mean, there's never a good reason to send a picture of your limp dick. Even at the lowest tier of the subscription plan, at $1.99 a month, some of the pictures will be featured in a limp state. Sorry, cheapskates. He's not getting it up for $2 a month. You need to be at the $9.99 plan at least. Again, $29.99 unlimited monthly pics. None limp. Unless you're into that. So Tamra goes, who the hell sends dick pics on Snapchat at 47 years old? And then in like a weird turn, she accuses Andy of doing it. He's like, excuse me? So everyone kind of laughs. Andy just says to Jen, so you have no concerns about this relationship? And she said, no, I'm not going to be in a relationship with concerns. No. Andy, do you think he has a thing for married women? And Jen said, no. Andy, do you like his denim jackets? Oh, no. Okay. We get a little picture of one that's splattered in paint. Jen just says, I love him. And, he owns it. It's fine. That's his style. I feel loved by him. I feel prioritized by him. Tamra actually apologizes, but she explains that she was upset that Jen knew this stuff and was trying to protect him and then tried to make her look like a liar. But she is sorry. Andy's like, yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, where does this go from here? Jen just said, I think we can agree to disagree. Tamra says that she hopes that Ryan has changed because Jen deserves happiness and she's an amazing person who 7 minutes ago she called a shitty person, but who's counting? Other than me. Okay, so back from the break, Shannon and Emily have to scoot down and make room for Taylor Armstrong. We get the Heather package now, and it includes the issues with Taylor, along with Terry telling us that $55 million isn't f*** you money, it's f*** everyone you've ever known money. Classy. And oh boy, okay, we start with the fact that Terry had a stroke. Yeah, now I feel a little bad. A little. It's a wild story, too. She said it happened when they were together at the Ivy with their son, Nicky, and she wanted him to go to the hospital, and he wouldn't. They didn't know what happened exactly. They didn't know he had a stroke, but like something happened. And she was literally chasing him for an hour through Beverly Hills. She said he was not acting himself. He was being like belligerent and acting strange. And he got into an Uber and he wouldn't let her get in. So she gets in another one behind him and the chase is on. She's tracking him down the 405 with, I don't know, like Find My Phone or something. And finally they catch him or whatever. And he agrees to go to the hospital. She said they got in, they hook him up to the machine, and the doctor said you had a stroke. But I guess he's okay now. Yeah, thank God. Jesus, that's scary. Okay, so then in an awkward segue, Andy shifts to Taylor and said, so how did the movie go? And she said that they filmed part of it, but that because of the writer's strike, they're not going to finish it. I was thinking, that is what she said, but did she mean they're never going to finish it? Because it feels like that's a waste. And now that we know, thank goodness, the writer's strike is over. So, maybe they'll pick up again. But of course, at the time of filming this, it was still going on and, there was no end in sight. So I don't know. Maybe at some point it's easier to cut your losses. And she did mean that they're just going to scrap it. She does, however, say that the role that Heather was going to have went to a very big actor. She can't say who, but she can say that Eric Roberts did the part in the first one. I guess this movie is a sequel. Did not know that. But so then that gets Heather to say it was a male role. Emily starts laughing and she goes, you were going to play a man. So there's a viewer question for Taylor saying that, yes, they thought it was very condescending of Heather to say, you're so cute to Taylor. And the question is, why do you think Heather doesn't realize how she speaks to people? And Taylor said, I don't know. But I did send her a picture of the set after the fact because I wanted her to take it seriously and to know that this is a real deal. And then I said to her, the filming takes place in Oklahoma. And Heather said, where's Oklahoma? And Gina goes, she doesn't even know where San Diego is. Heather goes, I'm not Magellan, okay? I'm very bad with directions. It was funny. I'm not sure if that's really how she was asking her, where is it? Taylor definitely didn't take it that way. Taylor took it to mean like, Oklahoma, never heard of her, kind of a thing. So I don't know. I tend to think Taylor might be right. Heather just says, listen, but aside from all of that, let me apologize. I felt terrible that that's what you felt from me. I did not mean to sound condescending to you. And then Andy says to Tamra, you were the one that said that Heather didn't work since the 1900s. And, Tamra basically doesn't care that offended Heather because, she's confident enough to shrug off a comment like that. And she thinks Heather should be too. Like it was a joke. We flash back to Montana where Heather told Taylor that she was very anti-female coming after her career like that. And now Taylor would like to set the record straight. I work tirelessly for women and children of domestic abuse. Don't you ever call me anti-female. That's bullshit. And Heather's like, that's great that you do that. Then maybe like you should support another woman's career instead of making fun of it. And Taylor goes, I was offering you a lead in the movie where I was an underling. And then Tamra said, in Montana at the airport, you ran into a producer you used to work with. And you said to her, get me off this fucking show. I mean, I get it. And Tamra goes, how is that supposed to make the rest of us feel? Like you're better than us and you don't want to be here. Heather's like, I did say that. But it was after everything that went down in Montana, I felt like I was being attacked from all sides. These ladies are trashing me. They're trashing my career. And I ran into this producer who was the producer for a sitcom that she was on. Sorry, Heather, I can't remember the name. ABC, I think she said. And she said, and I hadn't seen her in so long, and I thought, this is a sign. But I am super grateful for this platform. I came back because of it. Emily, can I ask you a question? You just said don't put down a woman's career to Taylor. So when Tamra was talking about me in Montana, that I'm not an attorney, did you stand up for me? And Heather said, no, but I probably should have. And Tamra goes, see, this is how Heather twists things. When I met Emily, she reached out to me as a party planner. Guys, I kind of remember that too. I thought it was more tongue in cheek, but she was kind of doing some party planning. Shane was working. She had stopped to raise the kids for a while there. And then I think she did kind of get into party planning. I don't think my memory's bad. I don't think she was doing it as a business. I think it was more like she was doing it for friends and stuff because she was good at it and liked it. But I do kind of remember the very beginning of the first season that when Gina and Emily came onto the show, that there being something like that with her. I thought she was a party planner or something like that. I didn't know she was a lawyer. I'm just saying, I think Tamra's right about this part. Heather goes, you said she's a party planner, not a real attorney. And Tamra goes, I did not say that. I said she's not a practicing attorney. We get a flashback to when they were in the car. Again, sorry to admit it, but Tamra was right. All right, we move on to talking about Heather's house. And I think it was Tamra that said, do you really think we weren't happy for you selling your house? All the ladies say they're happy for her, but they just didn't appreciate hearing about it from social media and not from her. Heather said she really did think that she would be able to tell them in Mexico, but it got leaked or it came out in the press before she had a chance to do that. And, that's not what she wanted to happen. We talk a little bit about Heather being upset about everything all the time. Emily and Tamra both suggest that she needs to get a thicker skin. Heather denies that she's upset about everything. Emily says she just wishes that Heather would lighten up a little bit, have a sense of humor about herself, which, that's fair, I think. Andy goes, who here thinks Heather doesn't have a sense of humor? And nobody raises their hand. Even Tamra says, okay, I don't think that's fair to say. She doesn't have a sense of humor at all. Gina says she thinks Heather has a sense of humor. Heather then addresses Taylor's social media comments. And Taylor acts like she doesn't know what she's referring to exactly, but she's happy to discuss them with her at another time. And it is now time to say goodbye to Taylor. When we come back from the break now, we get a disclaimer that says the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion was filmed 10 days prior to Shannon Storms Bedore's DUI arrest. Okay, now it's time for Gina's montage. A lot of that is about Shannon and how she said she helped Gina with her DUI. And if not, they might have taken her kids to Child Protective Services. And Shannon saying, I never said that. Followed by Gina's confessional saying, you need to check yourself into rehab. And when you do, I'll be waiting for that apology. Ooh, it's like she was looking into the future. Yeah, obviously I see why they gave that disclaimer. And I can't imagine what this conversation would be like if the reunion was filmed after Shannon got her DUI. Wow. I feel like Shannon wouldn't even show up. I don't know. We also get into a bunch of stuff about Gina's trouble with Jen's infidelity and how it's triggering her, and how Matt's infidelity was bothering her more than the domestic abuse. That in general, this seems to be because that was one time, whereas the infidelity was over a long period of time. She feels like the domestic abuse was, he was not himself, like he just snapped, and that happened, and it happened one time and never again like that. I'm less forgiving about that. I just think if you have it in you to be violent towards someone, I'd be afraid to ever have any kind of a real conversation with you that might, set you off or something. I don't know. Anyway, we also talk about how her being sober now, she's kind of just processing stuff now instead of at the time that it happened, because she was, self-medicating with alcohol. Now Andy says to Shannon, you point blank told Gina that you would never ever bring up the DUI again. So why bring it up this season? Shannon, I didn't remember that, and I feel awful about it. And Tamra goes, I want to know why you were so mad at Jen for telling Gina on camera. Tamra, is there some residual stuff against Shannon for Tamra? This is kind of the second time Tamra has turned and but called Shannon out on something that she said. I don't know. I feel like they never used to do that to each other, the Tres Amigas. So anyway, Shannon says, I felt like as soon as you sat down, Jen, it was like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to do my job and stir the pot. Side note, personally, I feel like it was Tamra that was really working hard this season to stir the pot. It felt a little bit more obvious. Jen, I don't know. Jen seemed kind of genuine to me. Anyway, Andy says, Gina, did you ever get an apology from Shannon? Gina, I did not. Shannon, I said it at the pumpkin patch. And Gina goes, you didn't even acknowledge that you said it, let alone apologize for it. Shannon, I do not remember saying it. But to be clear, I wasn't saying your kids would be put in the system and taken away from you. It was just, had you been arrested, they wouldn't have left your children alone in the house. They would have had to get involved. That being said, I was being told by Heather that you were talking about my relationship. And I was frickin' pissed off at you. I don't like you, Gina. That's what it is. I don't like her. Oh, God. We don't get along because you don't know anything about me. And I have never had an intimate conversation. Gina cuts her off. And I never said anything about you. Shannon, well, I was told. Gina, Shannon, what are my children's names? Shannon, well, I mean, now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, no. Gina says, never talk about my children again, Shannon. I've known you 6 years and you don't even know my kids' names. And you're going to drop a bomb about CPS? You are so out of bounds, Shannon. You were so wrong. And for you to respond with anything other than, I am so sorry for my behavior. But no, you're so worried about your relationship that you made up things about my children. My children! Shannon, keep screaming, Gina. Gina, I will, Shannon. I knew you'd respond this way because this is who you are. You get proven to be wrong and you still don't lay down and apologize. So Andy says to Shannon, what was your reaction to finally seeing that you did say it? Shannon, oh, I was horrified. Gina, so reach out to me. Why didn't you text me? Shannon, it was established that day at the pumpkin patch that I said it. Yeah, and you said that you didn't. I feel like she did something obnoxious, like swear on her daughter's lives or something too. that she didn't say it. Shannon, do you want me to go through the list of kind things that I have done for you, Gina? Gina, Shannon, you gave me a phone number 4.5 years ago, and you have used it as a weapon against me ever since. Andy, Shannon, do you feel like you've beaten to death the kind thing that you did for Gina 4 years ago? Shannon, I have a laundry list of kind things. Emily points out that suggesting that CPS could take your children away from you is the lowest thing that you could say to a mother. And Gina's like, I don't care, but my kids are this close to being old enough to be on social media, and you put clickbait out there. Gina, mom, CPS, children almost taken away. She's crying now. For my children to see that and get hurt by that, and you don't even know their names? That is a wound that will stay with me. You have crossed a line to the point where I don't even know if I can even honestly continue to do this. Yeah, and that is where part 1 ends, with Gina suggesting that she maybe can't even continue on with the show. Guys, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I would never be on Real Housewives myself. But particularly not when you have children. God, it's so unfair. It is so unfair to bring your kids onto a reality show because, this is what we do. Me and people like me and most people out there. I mean, we watch it, we critique it, we make fun of it, we give our opinions on what we would do and how we would do it better or how wrong you are. I don't know. It's just so filled with judgment from everybody that I don't think it's something I could ever subject a child to. Anyway, that is it for me. That was part 1. We still have one more part to the reunion. So Orange County is not done yet. I hope you guys liked this recap. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you click on the bell icon, you will be notified every time I post something new on this channel. Also, for anyone who is an Amazon shopper, I am an Amazon associate, and if you go through any one of the links in the description box below this video, it will take you to Amazon. You don't have to purchase that item, but anything else you purchase while you're still logged in, I will get a percentage of. So I appreciate that in advance. And that's it. I love you guys, and I will see you next week for the final part of the reunion of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Love you guys. Bye.